How to prevent your books from eaten by silverfish. Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Rachel from Books and Bobs. Now our books are precious. Some of them mean a great deal to us. But unfortunately, our books also have a lot of enemies. And these enemies sometimes like to eat your books. Okay, that includes a lot of insects. We've talked about termites who love to eat your books. Other than that, there is also the silverfish. Now, silverfish it's everywhere. It's very common in our household. And let me pull out a picture of a silverfish. They're not nice to look at. This is silverfish, right? They are tiny little creatures. There is about 1 to 3 mm long, and they like to eat anything that is starch based. That means and that includes your books, right? Your clothes, or any food around the house as well. Anything that is starch based. So they are actually very common in the houses in Malaysia, because silverfish, they are nocturnal creatures. That means they like to move around at night, and they also like humidity. So unfortunately in Malaysia, humidity is a problem. A lot of moisture around, and in our house there is also a lot of dark corners for them to hide. So basically that gives them the perfect place to hide out and breed, and then come and look for food in the evenings. So places like your kitchen, the dark corners like under the sink, at the back of the cupboard, these are basically places that silverfish like to hide. And also because they feed on leftover food, like those crumbs that we drop onto the floor, and sometimes they get accidentally swept into a corner, not cleaned up. That becomes the feast for silverfish. So they live on that, and they would then lay eggs and breed and multiply in numbers. So the thing about silverfish is that once they are there, they breed quite quickly. You don't really notice them suddenly in big numbers. They're not like termites where they will come and in big numbers, but a few will come and then they start breeding, and eventually they will grow into a big clan, big village, and that's when you really have problem, because it's quite difficult to get rid of them. And also because there isn't any natural predators for silverfish in our house. So our house basically silverfish heaven. Yeah. Not very nice, but there are ways that we can do to prevent the invasion of silverfish. I'll come to that in a bit, but first let me show you the books that have been eaten by silverfish, how they look like. Okay, so silverfish likes to munch on your books, and usually the holes that they leave behind are irregular shapes like these. The edges are not sharp, which are quite different from the damage left behind by termites, which are usually more sharper in the edges and more tunnel-like. Yeah, the holes looks a bit like tunnels, and silverfish left behind holes like this. Yeah, more irregular and patches here and there. Right, so if you have seen books with holes like this, most likely that means you already have silverfish infestation at home, and you really have to start doing something to get rid of them before they eat up all your books. Okay, so now let's talk about ways of preventing the silverfish invasion, right? So like I said, preventing, because prevention is the word. better than you trying to get rid of them once they're in the house. So the best way of preventing silverfish from invading your house basically is to take care of the hygiene around your house, because these are creatures that eat on crumbs of food left behind. If you were to get rid of their food source, then chances are they won't come into the house and probably go into the neighbors. Okay, so take care of the surrounding, especially the kitchen, where food crumbs are most likely to accumulate. Vacuum all the corners, make sure you get the crumbs out. Sometimes the silverfish also like to eat, like some of the dead skin that we shed. So places like our bedroom and also the bathroom, corners of the bathrooms are also places where we usually leave behind some dead skins, and that would become their food. So vacuum places like that as well, make sure it's all clean. Okay, and of course if you already found traces of silverfish at home, then there are also ways that you can do to try to get rid of them. And silverfish do not like the scent of lavender and lemon, right? So if you have some essential oil, you can use lavender and citrus oil and dilute with water and spray around the corners of your house. Also spray around the bookcases and on the bookshelf as well. That would really help to prevent them from attacking your books. Okay, so if you do not have essential oil, you can also try something called diatomaceous earth, which is an organic kind of powder. It's some kind of powder form of some fossilized sea creatures. Anyway, if you are interested to find out what they are, you can Google about them. But basically, you can get this diatomaceous earth and sprinkle around your house, and also on the corners where where it's dark and damp, and also most importantly around your bookcases and even on the shelf as well. Okay, so leave those diatomaceous earth overnight and vacuum them. Make sure you clean them the next day, so that children or your pets don't eat them. They're non-toxic, but if you were to breathe in, it might not be very good for your lung. So make sure you vacuum away the diatomaceous earth the next day. Okay, so if you do not have these two items at home, or you prefer not to buy this stuff to get rid of the silverfish, you can also DIY some traps to catch hold of these little monsters and then get rid of them. Okay, so first thing, what you need is a jar like this. The lid is not necessary, although after trapping them, you might want to close the lid to they can't escape anyway, because what you need to do is to duct tape the outer surface of the jar using duct tape, or any kind of fabric tape, or something that's not smooth. Basically, we're trying to make the surface a bit rough, so that the silverfish can crawl up the jar, because silverfish, they have claws at the end of their legs. So these claws means that they can't walk on a smooth surface. So for example, if they were to fall into your bathtub or a sink, they won't be able to crawl back up, right? So we're trying to create a trap. So the inside of the jar, of course, is smooth, and once we have taped up the outer layer, we can put some bait inside, and you can use dry bread, because they like anything starchy. So put some dry bread in, and leave it in dark corners, or also put it near your books, on the bookshelves, and leave them there for a couple of days. And when you come back, you should see some of those little monsters trapped inside the jar, because Silverfish, they don't have wings, they can't fly, they can only, you know, crawl, and because of the claws, they can't climb up smooth surface. So this jar would be a perfect little trap to catch those little buggers. Whoops, excuse me. So yeah, this is a good way of trapping them. Alternatively, if you don't have jars like that around, you can use sauce dish. Okay, sauce dish like this. Just use a little piece of paper, cut out, you know, along the rim of the dish, and use some little tapes to tape them up. And so the paper will be like the ramp for the silverfish. So leave it at the corner on your bookshelf and leave them overnight, a couple of nights, 2-3 nights, and the silverfish will then crawl up the ramp and, you know, get caught in the dish because they can't crawl out, right? So this would be a good alternative to the jar to create your own DIY silverfish trap. So of course, once you trap some already, you can dispose of you know, any ways you like. You can flush them down the toilet, or if they have eaten some of your books, you can burn them burn them as a revenge. Okay, a bit dramatic, but you know, if they have eaten some of my books, I will probably burn them. So yeah, dispose of them any way you like. And so those are the traps, and that way you know, you get rid of your silverfish, and you can vent some of your anger. Okay, so that's the ways and solutions how you can prevent and also get rid of silverfish. And of course, there is one more method that you can use, that is to stop them, you know, stop the access of the silverfish to your books. So that means putting them in ziplock bags. Okay, so if they don't get access to your books, they can't eat them. And because silverfish do not eat plastic, that means they won't bite through the plastic bag and get to your books. So ziplock bags is also a good alternative from preventing silverfish from getting to your precious books. All right, and of course, it's you don't have to put every single one of your books into the ziplock bags, because I think many of us, we have hundreds if not thousands of books lying around, and it's really not practical to bag every one of them up, right? Let alone the cost, you know, of buying the bags. So what you can do is that, you know, just cherry pick the books that you really want to keep for a long time, books that are special to you, or books that you like to keep or possibly pass on to your children. Then you can consider investing into the ziplock bags and keep them in, preserve them in good condition for a very long time. Okay, so I have made a video to talk about the ziplock bag. So if you'd like to find out more, you can send me a PM or try to find the earlier videos below this one. Okay, so that is silverfish. I have made a series of videos or Facebook Lives on how to preserve your books or prevent them from getting damaged or getting brown, you know, stop the tanning. So that was over the last 2 weeks, last couple of weeks. I've done a series of these, and of course, next I'll be also talking about why your books turn brown, why the tanning process happen, and but that will be for another video. And right now, today I will only stop at silverfish, and I hope you have good luck catching all the silverfish that's been damaging your books, and you'll be able to keep your books in pristine condition for a long time. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys today, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.